Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, it's Wednesday, Wiccan Wednesday, the day after Christmas. I hope wherever you are that you had a wonderful Christmas holiday. We sure did here, and I hope you all got my Christmas message. Seems like many of you did, and if you haven't seen that, even though it's after Christmas, it's still Christmas season. See, in my world, Christmas goes on for like a month after Christmas. So if you haven't seen my Christmas message, check it out. It's in the queue right before this video. Well, here we are. It's Wiccan Wednesday, and I thought we'd talk about a subject that comes up sometimes. Sometimes I get people write to me, and they say, "Psychic Bob, I've been watching your videos. I'm really drawn to Wicca, and I want to start practicing." And then they usually follow it with, "But I live in a small town where it's fundamentalist Christian, and I cannot openly wear symbols of my faith. I live with roommates who are openly antagonistic towards Wicca or alternative spiritualities. Or I live with my family and they would disown me if I openly practiced Wicca. Yet, I see you every day wearing your jewelry and living the Wiccan life, and I want to do that. How can I have magical symbols in my life when I have to be hidden?" Well, let me first tell you, I totally get where you are, where you're coming from. When I first started in the craft 20 years ago now, gosh, it's weird how the years go by, I was in a job. I didn't actually work full-time as a psychic. I worked in a corporate job, and I could not openly wear Wiccan symbols because some of the supervisors were openly anti-Wiccan and even said that if they saw anybody on their staff that was a Wiccan, they would fire them. Now, of course, I know that that's all legal and people can't do that, but ask anybody in the corporate world, and they'll tell you the rules of law don't really apply to corporations that have a lot of money. They can do whatever they want. In particular, like where I live, the state of Virginia, it's what they call a right-to-work state. And what that means is that you can work independent of a union, and states can fire or hire at will with no cause and no justification. So workers, like for example in the state of Virginia, don't have a lot of protection. And so just showing up at work wearing a pentacle could get you fired, and it's fully legal in the state of Virginia. Don't believe it? Try and you'll find out. Anyways, it raises a good question about magical jewelry, because as many of you know, I'm a big collector of magical jewelry. And I thought I'd show you some of my pieces and talk about how you might incorporate magical jewelry still into your life in a kind of a covert, secret way. So let's talk about blazing, open Wiccan jewelry. Now, if we're going to talk about Wiccan jewelry, this is the traditional pentacle pendant, okay? I have a few of these. Here's one that's got a moonstone in it. Now, that is clearly Wiccan, and interestingly, even among the general populace these days, not many people don't know what that is. It's funny, I can walk down the street wearing one of these, and people say, "Are you a Wiccan?" And they'll say, "Well, I don't know anything about Wicca, but that's a Wiccan symbol." So this symbol of the pentacle is becoming rather known among the general populace. So if you walk around wearing one, chances are somebody will ask you, and if you wear it to your job and they're anti-Wiccan, then you're sure to get in trouble. In fact, I worked one time for a company that was a Mormon company. And I'll tell you, the whole staff was Mormon. It was all family run. I'm not Mormon, but there were a lot of Mormons on staff, and then all the management were Mormon. And if I'd walked into that office wearing that symbol, I would have been fired instantly. And so, you know, what are you to do? How do you bring sacred charms and magic into your life? Well, let me show you. A lot of things you do. Actually, before we get into that, let me show you. Here's some of my other openly Wiccan jewelry. Here's another pentacle. Okay, here's the goddess drawing down the moon. All of these are fine examples of witch jewelry. Here's the fairy star. Oh, here's one that got me in trouble one time. Pan, the horn god. Now, we know as Wiccans that he's the horn god. He's playing his flute. Isn't that cute? But for most people, they'd say, "Oh, devil pendant, you're a devil worshiper." So you can see openly wearing these symbols could create a lot of problems. So what do? We go covert. Now, depending on how open or on the edge you want to be, you could start with, for example, instead of wearing a pentacle or a goddess, you could wear a triquetra. Now, the wonderful thing about this symbol is, though it is known also nowadays as a witch symbol, thanks to the TV show Charmed, if you wear this, a lot of people will think, oh, you're just a fan of the TV show. Or they might question, are you a witch? Are you a Wiccan? This symbol is a little chancy because it is commonly now associated also with the craft. However, if you're of Irish descent or Celtic or British descent, you can legitimately wear this and say, oh, it's a Celtic knot, I'm Irish. And you can't be fired for that because it's your heritage. Nobody, people are multicultural. So if you say you're Irish and you're wearing an Irish symbol, nobody's going to be upset. And this is prominent throughout Ireland. So that's one way to get around it. Okay, and I have a few of these triquetras. Now, the wonderful thing magically about this symbol is that the triquetra is believed to be a powerful witch protection symbol. And the theory is that evil gets trapped within the knotwork and can't escape or hurt you or anybody else. I believe in this symbol. I wear it. It's also a sign of the ancient Greek goddess, the maiden, the mother, and the crone, as appointed by the 3 points. It also represents life, death, and rebirth, the cycle of life. So it is a Wiccan symbol, a pagan symbol, but it's also a Christian symbol because the Christians adopted it as a sign of the Holy Trinity. So if you're wearing it, somebody says, well, what's that? Oh, it's a Trinity sign, especially in a very strongly Christian environment that would accept that, then you could just say it's the sign of the Trinity. And the Christian church does have a history also of using this symbol. That's one way around it. However, if you are really in an environment where even not being the right type of Christian is good enough, like, let's say you work for a Baptist organization and you say, well, this is a Trinity. Well, they'll know that it's more used in the Catholic circle, so that could get you in trouble. So if you got to get more down key, some other things you could do is totally forgo openly Wiccan symbols and get abstract. What do I mean by abstract? Well, let me show you what I'm wearing today. I got on a wonderful ring today. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is a ring from Tiffany's, Tiffany & Company. That's right, I love Tiffany jewelry. I bought this ring at an estate sale, but it's too small for me to wear on my finger. But I loved it so much I had to buy it. It's from their 1837 collection. And they still make this ring. But I just strung it up on a cord. And I'm wearing it as a pendant. Now, what does that mean? For me, for the average person, well, actually, for the average person on the street, they just say, oh, it's a silver ring. And then it's, oh, what's that? It's a Tiffany ring. They'll love it. They'll think it's cool. But for me as a Wiccan, it's made of silver, which first is the metal of the moon goddess. And it's round, which represents the moon or the goddess. Now, to the average person, it's just a round silver ring. But for we of the Wicca, we can see in this a sacred symbol and a sacred sign. Okay? Now, you'll say, well, that's cool, Bob, but I love to worship the god. I'm more of a god worshiper than a goddess. Wiccans, we honor both, so some of us lean more towards one or the other. Well, that's okay, because I have another pendant that I like to wear. If you like to worship the god and you want a male symbol, you could get what they call a bar pendant. These are quite popular nowadays. A lot of different companies make them. Little silver or gold bars. And this also is a Tiffany piece from Tiffany & Company. You can't see it. It's engraved there. A lot of glare. Anyways, this Tiffany & Company, 1837. It's part of the 1837 line. Now, actually, let's see if I have my chain in here. I don't know where I put my chain. I don't find my chain. Somewhere I have a chain. Well, I can't find my chain right now. I don't know where I've put it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is my chain. In fact, I'll string this on to show you. By the way, I have another pentacle. Again, an openly Wiccan sign. And like, if you were in an environment you can't wear that, that would definitely get you dry. This is a big pentacle. As you can see, it's clearly a pentacle. But if I took that pentacle off and I put this bar pendant on, oops, I can't get it on. Hold on just a second. It's like about it's not very coordinated some days. I have trouble with fine motor skills, which is a long story. I had some nerve damage in my hands as a child. Okay, now, so I'm going to wear this bar pendant. And as I wear that bar pendant, to the average person, it's just a standard pendant. But for me, it represents the god in an abstract form. So we have here for both of us, we've got the god and the goddess. Can you see that? In fact, I could wear both pendants, if I wanted to. And I've got the Lord and the Lady with me. Now, the average person will say, oh, it's pretty silver jewelry. And then they look and say, oh, it's Tiffany jewelry, which it is. So you can have some bling and flash and style and still represent for the Lord and the Lady. And nobody has to know but you and your fellow Wiccans. And see, I've got God and Goddess pendants on. Now, let's say you want something more directly related to Wiccan charms, but you can't really think of what to wear. Well, how about this? You could wear a little moon pendant. Here's a little crescent moon that I have. Now, most people say, oh, what a cute little moon. And even among non-Wiccans, the moon is a popular symbol. Now, you and I look at that and say, oh, there's the moon goddess and in silver. And this is a silver pendant. And so, again, a goddess symbol, moon goddess symbol. You can wear it. It's not openly Wiccan, but for the Wiccans, they know what it is, you see. Also, you remember in the summer when I was here, I bought a bunch of sea jewelry. Now, here's a little silver starfish. Can you see it? It's like a starfish. The starfish carries the energy of the pentagram. It is a pentagram in natural form. And I always say to people when they say, oh, you shouldn't wear the sign of the devil, the pentacles, evil. I always say, have you ever seen a starfish? They say, yeah. I say, who made the starfish? God made the starfish, they say. Well, that's right. And so God likes stars. God made whole creature, hundreds of millions of these, and they're in the shape of a star. So you could wear a starfish as your pentacle. And if you're a sea witch, that's a natural, really good for you, okay? Now, what's another option you could wear? How about a little herbal ball? You can look these up. Look up herb locket or ball locket. And this is a little ball, and you pop the top over it, and it opens up. Now, you could put your favorite little magical herb, like a root in there, or a little herb you could wrap in aluminum foil and tuck it in there, and wear it. And you're doing Wiccan charm magic, and nobody knows the wiser. And they'll just think, oh, it's a pretty little locket. But this is actually a traditional witch's tool. The herb locket is very popular among witches and has been for hundreds of years. So there's another option, okay? Now, if you're in an environment where, and I've been in towns like this, where if you ain't sporting a cross and you ain't going to the Baptist church, you're going to get roasted. Even more casual Christians sometimes are not Christian enough for some communities. If you're in one of these environments, and people don't believe this exists, but I'm telling you, I've traveled around the country, and some of you watching know, there are communities, literally, if you're not walking around sporting a cross 24/7, you are suspect, and you could even lose your job. Don't believe it? Ask some of our YouTubers. So if those of you, I got to tell you, who've been through that, put it in the comment box below. If you've got to, there are times, and I've been in these environments, where you have to wear a cross. All right, now I know for some Wiccans, they don't like the cross, and it has a lot of negative connotations. But this is one of those times where wearing a cross can be just as magical as a pinnacle. I actually wear crosses because I like them. For me, they represent connecting with the divine. They're a sign of like prayers going up, the intersection of the material world and the spiritual world. The crosses also represents the four elements: earth, air, fire, water. All 4 points of the cross are elemental. Now, if you're in an area where it's a little more liberal, you could wear an equal armed cross where all the arms are equal. But most of the cross pendants you're going to find are going to be the traditional, what they call the Latin cross or the Roman cross. And if you have to wear one of those because you're in an environment where it's like you just got to, you can wear it in good faith and hold your Wiccan faith, because for you it is the 4 elements. It represents a door to the spiritual world. And you can wear a cross, and it can be just as magical as your pentacle and be, for you, a Wiccan charm. Now, let's say you're in an area where it's even more conservative. I'm telling you, there are so many levels of extremism, at least in the United States. Well, what about if you just got down to wearing a ring instead of a pendant? Now, I got this ring this summer. Look at this. You see what that is? That's called a brown agate. And do you know brown agates are a traditional witch charm of protection and power? And so it represents the power of the Earth Mother. So you could wear a plain agate ring and people would not know that that's a witch charm, okay? Now, also their traditional witch charm is the sapphire. And I have a beautiful sapphire ring that I wear a lot of times. This is a dark, dark blue. It's like a midnight blue, almost black. I wear that and people don't know it's a witch gem. Now, the witches that know me says, oh, that's a powerful witch stone. They know, but the average person doesn't know. So why I'm bringing all this up is I do get a lot of letters from people who say, Psychic Bob, I want to be wearing witch jewelry, but I just can't. I can't wear a goddess pendant, Bob. I can't wear a pentacle. Well, don't worry. These are some options for you to look at. Now, somebody wrote and they said, Bob, I love your pendant, but I could never wear that. I have a pendant. One of my pendants, I wore one in one of my videos. It's a little Wiccan chalice. It's a beautiful chalice with a pentagram on it, a pentacle. Can you see that? And somebody saw this in one of my videos. They said, I love that, but if I wore that, my family would crucify me because they're devout Baptists. And I'm not knocking on Baptists. I'm just saying that was their circumstance. Okay? Well, you know what? If you love wearing the sacred Wiccan chalice, but you can't do that, how about this? I have a second chalice that I wear in hostile environments, which is a chalice, but it's a plain chalice. It has no Wiccans and no pentacle on it. You could wear a plain chalice, and when I say that, they say, oh, it reminds me of my communion or first communion. Now, you're not lying because in Wicca, we do have a communion as part of our ritual. You know, we have cakes and ale. That is a form of communion. So you could wear your chalice, your Wiccan chalice, and say it's a communion chalice, and they would be none the wiser, you see. So what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of ways to incorporate magical jewelry into your life without necessarily having to give yourself up, be tortured, and die, okay? Another example here is I like to wear shells. Shells are great for if you're doing sea magic. They represent the ancient goddess. The seashell is a goddess symbol. And so you could wear that as your connection to the goddess. People would think it's a beautiful shell, but you and I know that it's a goddess symbol. You see? And the same with fish also. I love to wear fish pendants. Fish are traditionally good luck, and even among non-Wiccans, the fish has a tradition of being a good luck sign. So there's a powerful sea magic symbol as well, a symbol of the god or the goddess. Fish are sometimes the god and sometimes the goddess, depending, but you could wear that symbol as well. So you see, you're not really limited to having to openly wear pentacles and incriminate yourself. Think about these other options. You know, think about things that you could wear to strengthen your faith and yet still have your secrecy and safety. Can be done and should be done. Well, guys, listen, I'm going to keep it short. I just want to share that with you because I'd gotten some letters about that, and I'd love to, love to help you guys with that. Now, listen, tell me in the box below, do you have a favorite piece of sacred jewelry that you wear? What is it? Do you wear a pentacle? Do you wear a cross? Do you wear, what do you wear? Tell me, do you have a favorite ring, favorite necklace? Maybe you have favorite earrings. I want to hear about what your favorite sacred jewelry is. Well, guys, thanks for being here. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. Tomorrow is Thursday, Vlog Thursday. Don't know what we're going to do. I got to see if I can get this camera work. I'm still having problems with my camera. So I may not be able to go out. We may have a vlog inside the house tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be able to get out soon with you guys once I get this technical problem sorted. But I love you. Thank you for being here. Listen, if you get a chance, pop over to my website. Hold on just a second. You can give me a call. Get on my schedule. I am taking readings. With the New Year's coming, good time to get on Psychic Bob's schedule. Find out what's coming in 2018. By the way, on December, God, I don't know what month it is. End of this month, December 28th, I think, or 29th. I got to check that. I think it's the 28th. I'm going to be appearing on Rob Gautier's channel, the channel panel. Go to the front of my channel. Rob Gautier has a channel. You'll see it in my recommended channels. Rob Gautier, he's a channeler. Go click on his channel. First of all, subscribe to him, join him. I'll be appearing on his show, the channel panel, 28th or 29th. I'm drawing a blank. I think it's the 28th. So pop over there. check it out, subscribe, and watch me on the channel panel. It'll be broadcast live there that day. Also, pop over to my website, psychicbob.com, www.psychicbob.com. Pick up my books. There's Messages from Rose. You still need to get some gifts for people. If you're like me, Christmas goes on, as I said, for a month. You could still buy somebody a spiritual book. Get it from my website. Pop over there. Check out my bookstore. Give me a call for a reading as well. And I also am now offering gift certificates. You want to buy somebody a private reading with me? Give me a call, 703-825-3929. Again, 703-825-3929. Link will be below, and we'll get you a gift certificate for that special someone. I actually will send them a gift, or you or them, however you want to do it, a gift certificate that can be printed out, and then you can give it to them, and they'll have it tangibly, something from you. Anyways, give me a call. I look forward to hearing from you. I love you guys. See you back here tomorrow for Vlog Thursday. And until then, may you always blessed be.